All right, guys, it's about time. What's up, guys? It's Andy, and today we are starting my Finding My Very First Horse series on my YouTube channel. Now, I can't make any promises that it's gonna upload in succession because I have a feeling this is gonna take all summer, if not into the fall, to find the perfect horse for me. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed and we'll just kind of upload as we go. If I get to try horses, with COVID, that's going to be kind of hard, but we'll just see what kind of a little mini series we can make out of this and hopefully have a big reveal at the end of who my future horse is going to be. If you are new to the channel, I have been riding for about 18 years and I have never owned my own horse. I have leased some horses, I've changed barns to follow certain horses, and I've taken lessons on and off since I was a kid. So this is kind of like new for me. I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous. So basically for this video, what I'm gonna do is on my laptop in front of me, I have my ideal horse list with some characteristics that may or may not be negotiable in what I'm looking for as far as a first horse. And I'm gonna be kind of going through the breakdown of that list and discussing kind of what I'm looking for and hoping that I can find. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so this is actually the second time I'm filming this video. I tried to film it before my lesson this morning and it was just a rambling, long 20-minute video. So I'm gonna keep it short so that you guys don't get bored. I know the sit-down videos are not the most exciting videos to watch, so we'll just kind of go through my list and see where it takes us. So for my list, I have 3 categories. I have on the ground, I have under saddle, and then I have like characteristics of the horse. So let's start with the on the ground segment. So I want a horse that enjoys being groomed. It's one of my favorite things to do. A lot of the horses at our barn like aren't used to being, I don't want to say they're not used to being pampered, they're very well cared for, but some of them don't enjoy standing in the cross ties and being groomed and futzed with, and that's something that I really enjoy doing, so the horse needs to be okay with that. Secondly, they need to be good for clipping, face and body. I have worked with many horses over the years that are sensitive to it, and I just kind of want my first horse to be easy. I don't want to have to work on a lot of things if possible. My anxiety gets worse as I get older, it seems, so I just want like a nice, easygoing horse, especially when it comes to clippers. I am planning on clipping for the winter because here in the Midwest, they get very sweaty when it is very cold out, and I do not want my horse to catch a chill. And lastly, they need to be able to load into a trailer very well. I'm not looking to, again, I've worked with horses in the past, and it's just, I don't want a project horse, basically, is what I'm saying. Not that there's anything wrong with project horses, I'm just not at a point in my life mentally where I can handle that right now. So ideally something too that enjoys some groundwork, liberty, join-ups, that sort of thing. I'm really into that. I used to do that with a lot of my lease horses, and it really created a better bond for us, and I could trust them more, and I have trust issues, so really looking forward to that. So that's kind of all I'm looking for in a horse on the ground. So let's move on to the under saddle portion. So I am looking for a hunter. I do not want a jumper. I do not want an inventor. I do not want a dressage horse. I just want a hunter. Nice, smooth and slow, and confident, so that I can be confident. Confident towards the jumps and over the jumps and not refusing stuff is a huge thing for me. I have had a couple of horses that have knocked my confidence, and add that on to my anxiety as I get older, and it just has created a nervous rider. I'm just an anxious rider. It is what it is. So I want something confident, no buck, rear, or bolt. I think that's pretty common of a request for most riders. And I want a balance of whoa and go. I don't want to have to spur and crop a horse through an entire course, but I also don't want to be like holding on for dear life as we take jumper turns and, you know, gallop full speed towards an X. Like, that would mortify me. Two things I have on this list that are possibly negotiable are the flying lead changes. Minimum, they need to have at least started them or shown that they're interested in doing them. And what I mean by that is if you canter around the course, they'll try to do it on their own, just naturally, or they'll switch their fronts. Just something that shows they have the instinct to perform the movement. And then I can finish on working that into a routine to finish that training or whatever needs to be done. But that's like my minimum requirement. But obviously a full smooth lead change, automatic preferred, would be, you know, the best case scenario, but that significantly increases your price, and I'm working on a budget here. So the other thing is jumping potential up to 3'6". I don't really see myself jumping over 3 foot, but I'd like to think maybe one day I could get there. And so I want a horse that can do that, or potentially can do that, you know, doesn't have bone chips or previous injuries that would prevent them from jumping, or conformation abnormalities that would prevent them from jumping. So that's kind of negotiable to a point, because I am a hunter. I want to jump, so I cannot have a horse that can't jump. So that's it for my under saddle section. I am planning on incorporating some dressage lessons in there just so that I can grow with the horse as far as flat work and movements. But ideally, my primary goal is just working the hunters. So let's move on next to my longer section, which is going to be characteristics of my horse that I am looking for. So the basic type stuff is going to be, I'm looking for a horse that's 15 to 17 hands. I've been told I look good riding ponies because I'm short. I'm just over 5'1". However, I don't feel like I would be doing the right thing by buying a pony as my first horse, maybe as like a project or something for resale, but not as my hoping to be forever horse. It just doesn't fit right. So, and I'm kind of wary of the larger horses just because I am so small. I don't want to have to try and bully a massive tank around a course either. So 15 to 17 is like my goal range. 4 to 12 years old, preferably. I really don't want anything older than 12, because once you start getting to 15, they're considered senior, so your maintenance changes, your feed changes, and not all the time, but just, you know, it's a common thing to consider. I'm not quite ready for that. I want a few like good young years. Ideally 6 to 10, kind of my range. 4 might be a little young, but I'm open to stuff in that range. Mare or gelding, I prefer a gelding because all of my lesson horses are mares, and I'm just not about that. That's pretty much all I have to say. So mare will not be a deal breaker, but it will be a harder consideration. They need to be up to date on vaccinations, Coggins tests. I would ideally like to do a pre-purchase exam. However, buyers right now have realized that you can sell a horse to someone else for more money without an inspection, and it's just what the market is right now. People just want to sell as fast as they can for as much as they can, and they don't really care much about first-time buyers trying to get vet work and rides, trial rides, testing, that sort of stuff in. Unfortunately, that's where I am. I'm that person. I want to do all that stuff. So possibly negotiable if my trainer thinks it's a good fit and a good horse and we're not going to find anything else like it. I will have vetting done once I own the horse regardless, if I cannot get a PPE. So negotiable. Trial periods I'm a huge fan of, even if it's just for a couple days, just to see what the horse is like in a new environment. Make sure I can ride it. You know, if it's a horse from somewhere that I can't necessarily just like go fly out there and try it these days, you know, with COVID and everything like that and how fast the horses are moving, you would have to put a significant money amount down to even hold the horse at this point. So trial periods are preferred, and especially, you know, my budget's pretty set. It has a little bit of wiggle room, and if we go into that wiggle room, I definitely need a trial period because I will not drop that kind of money for a horse that I've never ridden. Like, it's just not going to work. I really want a horse that's generally got sound conformation and no soundness issues. I like a low maintenance, easygoing type horse. Now, as far as maintenance goes, I'm prepared for senior management. That's completely different, but I shouldn't have to do hock injections on a 6-year-old because they overjumped it the last 2 years since it was 4. Like, the maintenance needs to match the horse, if that makes sense. So, you know, a couple supplements, sure. Shoes, I prefer barefoot horses, but if it's a conformational issue, then I'm okay with that. You know, just trying to make sure the maintenance fits what I'm doing, what the horse needs, and like everything needs to just fit together like a nice little puzzle. I also am preferring something in a unique color. I love me paint in the hunter ring. Probably not an Appaloosa just because their tails are not full and what I think a hunter horse looks like. But, you know, in addition to color, I don't really care about breed either. As long as the horse looks the way it's supposed to for hunters and it does the job that I need it to do, I'm totally cool with whatever. You know, give me a gray, give me a bay, give me a paint, give me a flaxen chestnut, I don't really care. Give me a quarter horse, Dutch harness horse, TB, I really don't care. I just need something that fits the boxes, and I don't really care what's gonna take me there. I just want the hunter look, you know, round top line I can always work on, but willing to come on the bit, has a soft flowy stride, nice thick tail, those types of things I'm looking for physically, and whatever breed can get me there is all that matters. So that's kind of it for my characteristics section. So let's kind of talk about budget, where I'm looking, what my plans are, and how we're gonna move forward from this video into our next video, which is hopefully trying some horses, or even maybe just revealing that I got a horse. I don't really know how this is gonna work out, but you and I are gonna figure it out together. So let's move on to the other information and wrap this video up. All right, so since I was in high school, I've been saving money. I have taken, you know, extra student loans over the years that have accumulated, and I've put most of that money back into my loans, but I kept some of it just as a little stowaway for my horse. And many years have gone into this planning, okay? So I have currently managed to save $10,000, which I mid 4 figures to low 5 used to be able to get you a really nice hunter horse. Now OTTBs are going for 10K off the track because they look pretty. It's really an odd market right now, and I don't know how I feel about it. And my trainer said, you know, anything under 25K isn't gonna be your perfect hunter, and that worries me a little bit, but I'm willing to put in some work, and I'm willing to wait for the stars to align to bring me the horse that I need. I'm an anxious rider. I don't want to say I need a babysitter, but I need something with confidence so that I can be confident too. I want to get back into showing and just, you know, have a life partner in this animal that I'm choosing to, you know, care for the rest of its life. I do have an extra $5,000, my wiggle room that I was talking about, extra $5,000. That is for transport, vetting, if the farrier needs to come out, pretty much anything that I need to buy, like blankets and sheets and tack upgrades if I need some. I need to have a saddle fitter come out if I can find one. Chiro adjustments, probably a good thing after being transported from, you know, wherever this horse is going to come from. So I'm really trying not to crack into that. My trainer did already show me a horse. He was 12K, and he was a gelding TB, unraced, but he was already 11, and I just felt like that was a lot of money. And she knew for sure the trainer would not send him on trial. He was from out of state. And so I just had to pass because I'm like, if I'm going above my set budget of 10K, and that's maximum, like I'm willing to look at anything less than that. Like, let's get on the same page here. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. He was really cute though. I'm not going to post any pictures because he's still for sale, so I don't want to like interfere with that at all. But I'm also looking in Facebook groups. I have my trainer's connections. She's looking for me. I'm looking online, and I just have to hope that the right horse comes along. So if you have any questions or want to leave a comment, I love interacting with you guys. And as I'm anxiously going through this process, I can't wait to share all the details with you. I can't wait to get my first horse, and I can't wait to bring you guys along for the ride over the next couple years of me and this imaginative horse that doesn't exist yet. So if you are interested in following our story, please like down below. That really helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't already so that you get notifications when I post next. I'm sure other videos are going to be posted in between throughout this series. But definitely stay tuned, and hopefully we will find a horse by this fall. So we'll see you in the next one.